an article in the Los Angeles Times entitled California Invested Heavily in Solar Power. Now there's so much that other states are sometimes paid to take it. This came out June 22nd by Ivan Penn. So what this is talking about goes into some specific instances. So the state of California has incentivized, first of all, homeowners to put panels on the roof by tax breaks, but also the state and utility companies have built solar farms. And what happened, there were several days this year and last year where the state of California had so much extra energy that it paid Arizona to take it. And what this article goes into is how it has achieved renewable energy and how it's growing, but also on a parallel track is utility companies getting lawmakers to approve opening up natural gas plants. And the state of California said it wants to get 50% renewable energy by like 2025. That was seeming like, oh, kind of pie in the sky. But solar panels are now become cheaper and cheaper to use. And if you go, there's a graph here that's in the article, and I'll put the link below, is it shows the percentage of solar utilities, percentage generated by solar utilities, and then percentage of solar power generated by solar panels, which is basically people putting it on their rooftops. And if you look at it, it's kind of from 2001, it was pretty flatline. And then 2012, it goes up 13, 2014, all the way to 2016, it got 9.6% of the solar energy from solar utilities and 4.2% by solar panels, by independent rooftops or individual rooftops. And what the utility companies, which spend a fair amount of money to get California politicians, claim is, look, the transfer from fossil fuels to renewables is complicated, and they try to make the power grid. It's just really crazy, and it's going to take some time. And one of the things, and it's a somewhat valid one, is currently when you have a cloudy day, then a solar panel is not producing as much electricity, so you need fossil fuel plants, traditional electricity plants that are gas powered or whatever, or oil, they need to be online. And when it's a high day of sun, so basically there's a higher demand in California in the summer because air conditioners and the heat and everything goes on. In the winter, it's pretty mild, so people aren't using as much electricity. So that's when we had some energy gluts. And one of the contentions is when there is a lot of sun, when it is a sunny day, it's expensive to turn a gas plant offline and then bring it back online. Okay, I kind of get that. But what this article, and it's a pretty lengthy article, does is it shows how, first of all, there's a solar farm that was in the Carrizo Plain in California's Central Valley near San Luis Obispo. And you'll see that was once barren land is now a sprawling solar farm with panels covering more than 7 square miles, one of the world's largest clean energy projects. When the sun shines over the Topaz solar farm, the shimmering panels produce enough electricity to power all of the residential homes in a city the size of Long Beach, population 475,000. That was built with California labor, right? This, to me, goes back to the thing I talk about a lot on this show, is the Green New Deal. And there's so many jobs. We could have solar farms, not just in all of this barren desert in the Southwest, in the West and the Southwest. You could be putting it on every home with a south-facing roof. Anywhere. Any roof that gets exposed to the sun. I mean, even if you're in Portland or Seattle where it's cloudy and rainy all the time, that's a cloudy day still generates energy. So it's again why we need to get behind progressive politicians. And whenever whenever a politician, especially if they're a Democrat, is kind of like hems and haws over clean energy, you know they're probably getting some money from the utility companies. Because the utility companies aren't big fans of you generating your own energy on your own roof. They got to come in and they got to regulate it and they got to take it and control it. Like they want to do that. That's why there's no tax breaks, to my knowledge, in the state of California if you get a self-sustaining solar system, meaning you get solar panels and a battery pack so that, like, if the electricity goes out, you still have power. There's no tax rebates for that, from what I understand. You get a rebate if you put solar panels on, and then if you generate excess electricity, it goes into the grid and they can sell it off to other people. See how that works? See how the utility companies work? And utility companies are a monopoly. There's only, you don't have competing electric poles next to each other and you get to choose. So it's again why I suggest voting locally. And like, look at this. Like, if you're in a condo complex, basically petition your homeowners association, if you guys have the surplus of revenue, to put solar panels on your condo complex. It'll increase the value of all of your property, because look, if you put your condo back on sale or your house back on sale, just me, if I'm a consumer, and you tell me, especially in a place that gets really hot in the summer, Arizona or something, Southern California, anywhere in the South, and say, normally you would have $150 a month, $200 a month electric bill because you got to crank the AC all day. It actually costs you less than that. It's $20 or half or whatever it is, because we got solar panels, and it increases the value of your home because the layout, it's a fair amount of money to lay out, but the prices come down. You person buying the condo or house that already has solar panels, you're not spending that big outlay of cash to get them. So it's a pretty impressive article in showing this. It shows how good it can get, and then also who it's the utility companies that are blocking this, and the fossil fuel companies, because they still want to keep gas and oil power plants online. Now, what they're claiming is, if there isn't sun, like I said, if this grid goes out or whatever, and when there isn't a demand and they have excess, they need to sell the electricity off the grid. But part of the problem here is utility prices have gone up in the state of California overall. Now, your municipality might be slightly different, or your utility company, but overall, electricity prices have gone up in the state of California, yet we're having extra electricity from all of this solar we're generating. So there's a company, Queso, and this is... I'll tell you, here's an example here. When there isn't a demand for all the power the state is producing, Queso needs to quickly sell the excess to avoid overloading the electricity grid, which can cause blackouts. Basic economics kick in. Oversupply causes prices to fall even below zero. That's because Arizona has to curtail its own sources of electricity to take California's power when it doesn't really need it, which can cost money. So Arizona will use power from California at times like this only if it has economic incentive, which means being paid. Well, here's something I'd like to see. Maybe we could build some battery packs and store this energy. Literally for a rainy day. So it's an interesting article. I suggest reading the whole thing. And also something to back getting off of natural gas and oil run and coal-fired power plants, and petition your lawmakers to just do, because solar price keeps coming down. And as I say, vote with your dollars. Put it on your own home, put it on your condo, put it on your school, put it on your place of business. Thanks for supporting the show. Like and subscribe. The Patreon is below. You guys are fantastic.